So again, good afternoon to each and every one of us. Welcome to our first lesson for this class. And this lesson is about active and passive voices. I'm not really sure if those who were not first times have encountered this lesson already. By raising your hand, sino na sa inyo ang naka-encounter ng lesson na ito on your previous English class here in the Binan online tutorial? I see Maxine raising their hand. Very good. Okay. There are two more raising their hands. Let me check. Maxine, Grad already learned about it. You had a discussion on it. But we will try to make sure na, since it's a different teacher, I don't know how it was explained to you, but I will try to make sure that at the end of this discussion, you'll be able to write your own effective sentences using this active and passive voice. Okay, so let's start. Syempre, before we proceed with our actual lesson, we have to review the different parts of a sentence. Let me ask you, what are the important parts of a sentence in the English language that we have to remember when we talked about active and passive voice? Sige nga. From those who, ngayon ko i-challenge, those who were able to study this in their past online class, anong different parts of a sentence ang dapat nating alam when we talked about passive and active voice? 3 parts. Anyone? Raise your hand if you have an answer. Let me see. 3 important parts of a sentence. Meron ba kayong idea? Or anybody? Ano sa palagay niyo yung mga parts of a sentence? Yes, Grad. Go ahead.
Subject, predicate, and object.
Okay, but in this class, we will call it the subject, the verb, and the direct object. Okay, these 3 things, these 3 parts of a sentence is very important before we will be able to convert an active voice into passive voice. We will also be learning what is active voice. Bakit ba may active voice but may passive voice? What is its relevance in our discussion and how is it important in the English written and spoken? Isa-isayin natin. So we all know what a subject is. Tama? This is not the class subject, pero what we mean by subject here is the subject of the sentence is a person, place, or thing or idea that is doing or being something. Okay? Pag sinabi daw nating subject, this is what we have been talking about in a sentence. This is actually the central idea within a sentence or in a group of words. Normally, a subject could take the position of a noun and a pronoun. Okay? Normally, a subject is a noun or a pronoun. Ngayon, what we mean by noun are names of person, places, things, concepts, or idea. Pronoun are words that replaces, pinapalitan yung position ng noun so that the sentence will be cohesive and coherent at hindi pa ulit-ulit. Okay? So we know what a subject is already. Ngayon, there are different kinds of subjects in the English language. I remember when I had a class with the grade 9 and grade 7 during the first batch, when I asked them to identify the subject, iba-iba yung sagot. Bakit? Kasi nga, we have to identify what are the different kinds of a subject. Okay? Ano yun? Nagkamali ng ano. The first is simple subject. Okay? A simple subject is like this. Pierre puts a lot of garlic in his food. Our subject there, or the one doing the action, is Pierre. Therefore, this is a simple subject. Why? Because a simple subject is a one word without any modifiers, without any articles. Diba meron tayong mga subject na merong the, a, an? No, in a simple subject, you only identify the main subject. Okay, that's why it's called the simple subject. We don't have any modifiers. If there are no adjectives involved in it, there is no any article, but only the subject itself. Okay, the noun being described or used in a sentence. We now also have a complete subject. What we mean by complete subject is you add the modifiers or the descriptive words in your main subject. For example, in sentence number 1, the boy puts a lot of garlic in his food. The subject here is boy. This is your simple subject. Your complete subject will be that boy. Okay? See that in the complete subject, we also add the modifiers. Dinadagdag natin yung mga modifiers like the word that, which is an adverb. And the other example, the world's youngest pope was 11 years old. Our simple subject here is Pope. Very good. Pope is our simple subject. Now, since we are after a complete subject, we add all the modifiers. So your complete subject would be the world's youngest Pope. Okay? So we are discussing this because this is important when we transform now sentences in active to passive voice. Third kind of sentence is a compound subject. Okay, what is a compound subject? Two or three subjects joined together by the conjunction or by a conjunction. Example, Pierre and Claudette put a lot of garlic in their food. The subject there is Pierre and Claudette, and that means it is made up of more than one element. Si Pierre and si Claudette, ginoin sila ng isang conjunction. So this is what we call as the compound subject. So again, there are three kinds of subject in the English language or in English construction. We have a simple subject, we have a complete subject, and we have your compound subject. So whenever we will be asked, sir, if I will ask you to identify the subject, we will agree on what kind of subject we shall identify. Kasi doon nagkakamali tayo. Kailangan nating makapag-agree that we identify on what kind of subject. If I ask you to identify a simple subject, you only identify the main subject. If I ask you to identify, okay, you can identify the complete subject, then you can add all the modifiers. Okay. So that's what subject is all about. The second important part of a sentence is called a verb. Alam naman nating lahat yan, di ba? A verb is a word, mali yung grammar. A verb is a word expressing the action made by the subject. So simply, a verb is an action word that describes what the action is doing. Nilalarawan nito kung anong ginagawa ng isang subject natin within a sentence. Now, there are different kinds of verbs. Okay? We have the regular verb. Ano ibig sabihin ng regular verb? A verb that's past and past participle is made by adding D or ED and is called a regular verb. Some regular verb is listed here on the side. I know you know it already, but we just have to refresh our mind with this. When we say regular verb, this is your main verb, okay? Let me help you by annotating. You see here, this is your main verb, okay? The second column is called your past tense. The third column is called the past participle. Observe, according to the rule, a regular verb is formed by adding D or ED on its past and past participle form. Observe the word walked. We add ED, walked, and then walked, past participle. Anong ginawa lang natin? We just add ED on our words or sentences. The second kind of verb is called the irregular verb. And what is an irregular verb? Irregular verb is formed by changing the spelling of the word. From the present tense to its past tense, to its past participle, we change the spelling. For example, break, broke, broken. Okay? This time, drive, drove, and driven. What happens is, we do not just add ED or D like a regular verb, but we change the spelling of the word. So that's what we mean by irregular. That's why it's called irregular, because we have to change the spelling para maging past tense and past participle. Okay? Nakakasunod ba lahat o mabilis tayo? Nasusundan? Baka nalulunod na kayo dyan, dudugo ng ilong, ha? I-raise ang hand lang at sabihan ako, sir, ano nga po uli yun para babalikan natin? Okay? Just raise your hand if you have questions or concerns. Another important kind of verb that we need to know is your linking verb. Okay? A linking verb is also called an auxiliary verb or helping verb at marami pang ibang tawag. Lexical verb, tinatawag din siya. So, a linking verb acts as a link from the word linking. It acts as a link between two words called the linking verb. It connects the subject to a noun or an adjective in the predicate. Okay? Look at these examples. These are also examples of linking verbs. Appear, become, feel, look, taste, turn, sound, seem, grow. Why is this called a linking verb? Because it does not express a physical action, okay? It does not express an actual action that you can see. For example, become, is that a kind of word or action na nakikita natin na nangyayari? Hindi, di ba? It's like an abstract verb that you don't see it happening. That's why it's called a linking verb, because its purpose is to link the noun to its predicate. Okay? Other examples are, is, kagaya ng mga alam natin, is, was, were, are, will, and so many other linking verbs. So those are the three kinds of verbs that we need to understand and know. Now, let's move on to our, bakit ganito yung itsura ng model natin sa picture? Let's move on to the third part. It's called the Dirac Object. Ang sama ng tingin niya sa atin, parang sabi niya, naiintindihan niya ba, class? Naiintindihan natin. No? So we have a subject or a noun. Now we have a verb. Now let's move on to Dirac Object. What is a Dirac Object? Let's watch this one to be able to understand what a Dirac Object is. Hold on, let me just allow. Okay, let's watch this one. Write on your notebooks anything you know, you see, and you understand from this video.
Direct objects. A direct object is a noun, pronoun, or word group. A direct object tells who or what receives the action of the verb or shows the result of the action. You can find the direct object by asking whom or what after a transitive verb. For example, drought destroyed whatever we planted. Destroyed what? Whatever we planted. Satellite recorded the astronaut during his mission. Recorded whom? Astronaut. Astronaut is the direct object. Do frogs cause warts? Cause what? Warts. Warts is the direct object. Janice told him to leave her alone. Told whom? Him. Him is the direct object. Mom, will you collect Eric and me from school today? Eric and me is the direct object. From this example, you can see that a direct object can be compound as well.
In the long
What a
history of the
compelling
world,
speech he gave.
only a few
Gave what?
generations
Speech.
have been granted the role
Speech is the direct
of
object.
defending freedom. It is our national
What a compelling speech he gave. For emphasis,
I welcome
the
it.
direct object may precede the subject and the verb. Phrases and clauses can also be direct objects. For example, the police directed traffic during the blackout. The family loves eating mashed potato. Remember, a direct object answers the question whom or what after a transitive verb.
Okay. So, from her explanation, what is a direct object? Anyone? Anybody would like to raise their hand and share with us? What is a direct object according to that presentation? Or anything you know about what direct object is? Come on guys, go ahead. Huwag nang mahinga. Kung magkamali, okay lang yan. Part yan ng ating pag-grow. So what is a direct object according to her? Narinig niyo na yung direct object? Just show us like sign if you have heard already what a direct object is. Narinig niyo na? Okay, show me on the screen, like sign kung narinig na natin. Hindi pa? Thank you, Karel. Andre, sorry, Andre pala name mo, no? Grad, okay. Maxine, you heard it. Zach, you already heard it. Okay, very good. Now, from that instruction, we can define direct object as a noun or a noun phrase that receives the action of the verb. This is the receiver of the action. Okay? That's why, for us to know, para malaman natin where is the direct object in a sentence, we have to ask who or what after the verb. Okay? Para malaman daw natin kung nasan si direct object, pwede nating itanong yung tanong na who or what pagkatapos ng verb natin in a sentence. Okay? That's how we identify a direct object in a sentence. Example, Damien hates raisins. Nasa ng ating verb? Hates. So sabi daw to identify your direct object, ask the question what. So Damien hates what? Raisins. Therefore, raisins is your direct object. Okay? Number 2, would like to help me identify the direct object for number 2? Anybody by raising their hand? Kung wala mag-volunteer, I will call in your names. Number 2, madali lang yan. 30, can you help me in number 2?
Direct object.
Yes.
The ocean calls Sea of Han. The direct object is Sea of Han. Very
good, because it answers the question, what? Okay, very good. Number 3, Sasha paints landscapes. Emmanuel, can you identify the direct object in that sentence?
Sasha.
Your direct object is?
Sasha.
Oh, I think you are confused with what a direct object. Sabi natin, you will know what a direct object is if you ask the question who or what after the verb. Nasaan ang verb mo dito sa sentence na to? Sasha paints landscapes. Nasaan ang action word mo dyan?
Paints.
Paints. So after paints, magtanong daw tayo ng what. Sasha paints what? Ano daw pinipaint ni Sasha? Landscapes. Therefore, landscapes is our direct object. Very good. Kasi nga, it answers the question, what? Okay? Danica, can you answer number 4? Good job, Emmanuel. Very good. Danica, can you help us with number 4?
Ashley loves sitting by the sea.
Your direct object there is? Again, nasa
By the
ng...
sea.
I'm sorry?
By the sea po. By
Okay.
the sea.
Where is your verb in the sentence?
Sitting.
Okay. Are you sure? Any other verb in the sentence that you can see? Any other action word in the sentence?
Loves.
Loves. Okay. Now, let me explain. Thank you, Danica. Let me explain. When you are asked to give examples of a verb, words that ends in ing is not a verb. Okay? They are called gerunds or verbals. They may look like a verb kasi nga the root word is from the verb, pero hindi talaga siya verb. Okay? Again, when you're asked to give an example of a verb, verbs ending in ing like singing, dancing, speaking, writing, walking, dancing, and so other words that ends in ing, they are not actually verbs. They're called gerunds. And for that matter, gerunds are nouns. Okay? So, In this sentence, our verb is loves. So when we ask what after the word loves, Aisling loves sitting by the sea. Aisling loves what? Sitting by the sea, therefore is your direct object. And number 5. Thank you, Danica. We'll try better next time. It's okay. Chloe, can you help me with number 5? Go ahead. Ayan.
James accidentally.
So first, again, when you are asked about direct objects, identify first your verb. Nasaan ang verb mo in the sentence? Where's your verb there?
Trip.
Tripped. So ask the question, who? After trip. James accidentally tripped who?
James.
James accidentally tripped who?
Claire.
Very good. Therefore, Claire is your direct object. Okay? So, I see that some of us are having difficulty identifying what a direct object. Basta tandaan lang natin, look for the verb. Hanapin natin ang verb, the action. After the verb, then ask the question what and who. Okay? Pag nasagot mo na yung question na what and who, the answer is, whatever the answer is, that is your direct object. Okay? So those are the 3 important things that we need to know about verbs or parts of a sentence, subject, direct object, and verb. Ganito ang gagawin natin. To better test ourselves before we actually proceed with our lesson, I will give you a task. Copy and answer. Copy these sentences on your notebook or whatever paper you have right now. Get it with you, prepare it with you. Write all the sentences. And then, identify the subject, the verb, and the direct object. Paano gagawin yan? You will have to encircle, bibilugan ang subject, box the verb, and underline the direct object. Clear? Again, the instruction is encircle the subject, box the verb, and underline the direct object. Clear? Any question? Sir, again, copy and answer po. Yes po, kasi natin may encircle, we cannot box and underline the direct object if we will not copy and answer. I will give you 5 minutes to answer. Okay? Let me now begin. Okay, last 1 minute to prep your work. After 1 minute, then we'll check. I will ask volunteers to share with us your answers. Show me a like sign if you're done, please. Okay, very good. Okay, let's answer. Who'd like to raise their hands in volunteering to answer number 1? Any volunteer? Yes, go ahead, Grad. Please answer number 1 for us.
Basahin ko po muna.
Yeah, sure.
I will read it first. Paul built a dollhouse for Haley. The subject is Paul, the verb is built, and the direct object is a dollhouse for Haley.
Okay, very good. That's right. So Paul is your subject, built is your verb, and your direct object is a dollhouse or a dollhouse for Haley. Very good. 3 checks for each correct answer. Okay. Next, number 2. Number 2, any volunteer? Ay, wala na. Wala na ba akong estudyante na mag-volunteer dyan? Raise your hand. Hindi ko kasi makikita sa screen pag nag-okay kayo. Okay, go ahead, 30.
The club members held a party in the park. The subject is club members. The verb is held. The direct object is a party in the park.
Very good. Or your simple direct object is a party. Very good, 30. Thank you. Next. O yan, kaya naman pala natin. Very good tayo dyan. Next, number 3. Zach, can you help us out in number 3?
The subject is the audience, the verb is cheered, and the direct object is favorite actors.
Very good. Good answer. Perfect. Number 4. Any other? Meron pa ba? Madali lang ito. Number 4. Any volunteer? Ada, can you help us answering number 4?
The subject is the tiny children. The verb is prefer, and the direct object is short story.
Very good. Thank you for that answer. Number 5, Chris Beth. I think you're on mute, Chris Beth. Chris Beth, I think you have to unmute yourself. Kasi hindi ka namin marinig. Ayan. Okay, go ahead.
Subject is Terry.
Okay, the subject is Terry.
Verb is dial.
Very good. Verb is dialed.
Direct object is wrong number.
Very good. A wrong number is your direct object. Very good. So imagine what we have already discussed for more than 30 minutes. It's not yet the topic. It's just a review of what should be taken for this subject. Okay, I think, Zach, your microphone, you have to mute yourself. So now, since we already know what is a subject, a verb, and a direct object, now we're ready to learn how to convert or transform an active voice into passive voice First, for today, we focus on the simple tense. Kasi napakaraming tenses. There are different aspects in the tense of the verb. Meron tayong simple tense, perfect tense, progressive tenses, perfect progressive, perfect progressive, perfect continuous. Yan. So ngayon, we focus only on the simple tense, active, and passive voice. Now, if we are to define, an active voice is a kind of sentence where the subject is performing the action and the subject comes before the action. Okay? So sabi, sa active voice daw, this is a kind of sentence where the importance is given primarily on the subject, on who the subject is and what the subject is doing. And when we talk about the structure, kung anong itsura nito, nauuna lagi si subject bago yung action na ginawa ni subject. In the active voice, the subject of the sentence does the action. Example, John painted the house last week. Your subject is John, painted is your verb, and your object is house. In this sentence, you will see that the subject comes first before the verb and the object. In this way, ang ibig sabihin ng active voice, we are expressing in a sentence that the subject is the one performing the action. Pinapahayag lang ng isang sentence in the active voice that the subject is the one performing the action. On the other way around, passive voice is a kind of sentence where the subject is being acted on by the verb, and the subject typically comes after the action. You see and observe the word here that the subject is being acted on. In this way, the focus within a sentence is the action itself and who made the action. In active voice, the focus is the one doing it. In passive voice, we are highlighting what has been done and who did it. Okay? Say, for example, the house was painted last week. Your subject is house, verb was painted. This is your sentence in a passive voice. When we talked about passive and active voice, we're primarily, when we choose kung anong uri ng sentence na gagawin natin, either active ba or passive voice, number one, the commonly used that we use in writing, in English writing, is the active voice because it is because of the sentence pattern that we already know in the English language. But we can also use a passive voice when we highlight on the things, on the action being done by the subject. Now, let's look on to the rules. What are the rules that we have to follow in changing a sentence from active voice to passive voice? Ito yung kailangan nating malaman sa araw na ito. Okay? Hindi nyo ito makikita sa libro kasi ako yung gumawa ng sariling rule na ito. Kasi I heard and kahit sa grade 9, kayo incoming grade 7, incoming grade 8, pero this is also our lesson in grade 9. If you will look in the curriculum for grade 9, madadaanan nyo rin ito. And I find it difficult for my students to learn transforming a sentence from active to passive voice. That's why I created my own formula or rules that we could follow. Okay? Now, how do we do it? Number 1 rule. O, tingnan na mabuti ha. Okay, kung kaya isulat, isulat. Pero kung hindi man, meron naman tayong video na pwede nyo balikan sa YouTube. Pwede nyo na rin isubscribe ang channel ko dyan, di ba? Pagka nanood kayo, class. Okay? First rule. Rule number 1. Identify the parts of the sentence. Like what we did kanina, we identify the subject, the verb, and the direct object. This time, you will also do the same thing. Identify the subject, the verb, and the object. Let's use this example. This sentence is in the active voice. Carlo and Maurice joined the online class. So identify daw muna natin ang subject, verb, and object. Subject here is Carlo and Maurice, which is a compound subject. Joined here is a verb, and the online class is your direct object. Okay? So first rule, identify nyo muna sa inyong mga sari-sarili the subject, the verb, and the object in the sentence. Number 2, after nyo ma-identify yung subject, verb, and object, interchange or pagpalitin. Interchange the position of the subject and the object. Subject is Carlo and Maris. Verb is online class. Pagpapalitin daw natin sila ng posisyon. Okay? So what will happen now? Carlo and Maris is in the end, online class at the beginning. Naintindihan? Nakakasunod tayo po? Oo, baka iba naliligaw ha. So second rule, interchange. Pagpalitin natin yung object and their subject. Third rule, choose the appropriate tense of the verb. This is one of the most difficult part of the transformation because we will have to identify the correct tense and the correct form of the verb to be used. Now, I have prepared here a table para hindi kayo malito. Okay? For present tense, we use is or are. We use is if the subject is singular, are is if the subject is plural. Past, we use was if the subject is singular, and where if the subject is plural. Future if the subject will be happening. So we will just use instead will be. Plus the past participle of the verb. Okay? Sir, bakit po past participle? Because that's the basic rule in the passive and active voice. The past participle of the verb to be used. Hindi past tense ha, past participle. Okay? So, how do we start with the appropriate tense of the verb? Ganito muna. Look at the verb in the active voice. The verb is join. Okay? Alamin mo na, is the join present, past, or future? Yun muna ha. Is join present, past, or future? Your answer? Present. Very good. Nasa present. Tama ba? Okay, nag-agree tayong lahat. It's in the present tense. Ngayon, if your verb in the active voice is in the present tense, meron ka lang dalawang choices. It's is or are. Paano mo malalaman kung is or are? Now, look now on your passive voice. Your passive voice has now a different subject. Kanina, ang subject natin, Carlo and Maris. Ngayon, ang subject mo na lang, the online class. Singular or plural? The online class. Singular or plural? Online class, singular. Isa lang. Ngayon, alin ang pipiliin ko? Is o are? Is. Kasi nga, singular lang si online class. So, kukunin ko si is, tapos yung verb na join, gagawin nating past participle. At dahil ang join ay isang regular verb, anong gagawin natin kung ito yung regular verb? Add ed. So your verb will now be is joined. Nakuha? Sir, paano nga natin uli nakuha? Ulitin natin. On the first, on your verb in the active voice, you have the verb there, join. Okay? Identify first, anong tense? Present, past, or future. Sabi natin, the word join is a verb in the present tense. Kaya dito lang tayo nag-focus sa is and are. Ngayon, para malaman natin if we will use a singular or plural present tense, yes, look back at your new passive voice subject. And your subject now is online class. Not Carlo and Maris anymore. Online class. And we say that the online class, the subject is singular. Kaya ang ginawa natin, kinuha natin yung is dahil singular, plus the past participle ng verb, joined. Okay? Nakuha? Number 4. Add the word by before your new object. Ang bago mong object ay yung dati mong subject, si Carlo and Maris. Lagyan daw ng word na by, a preposition before the new object. So we put here by. Okay? Number 5, observe proper capitalizations and punctuation. Tignan yung capitalization. Remember that if it's the beginning of a sentence, we capitalize the first letter. And do not forget to use punctuation at the end of the sentence. So your passive voice will be, the online class is joined by Carlo and Maris. Okay? I hope that's clear with you. Meron ba tayong tanong tungkol dyan? Sige, antayin ko. Baka nagsusulat pa yung iba. Okay, are there any question? You may raise your hand if you have questions. Or clarification, sir, ulit po ito. Ano nga po ito? Wala naman. Ayan, pwede kita ito. Ibig sabihin, sinasabi niya sa akin, naiintindihan niyo, ha? There's no harm in asking question. Kung hindi talaga naiintindihan, walang dapat ikaya. Okay? Kung kailangan magtanong, kung kailangan ulitin, uulitin natin para maintindihan natin. Okay? Just make sure that you understand. Kasi after this, meron tayong sasagutan na. Okay? Let's try another work. Pero this time, gawin ninyo habang sinasabi ko. Sagutan ninyo habang sinasabi ko. Okay? Again, first rule, identify the subject, the verb, and the object. This is our sentence. Sige nga. On your paper, identify the subject, the verb, and the object. Sige, go ahead. And then later on, I will reveal the answer para makasunod kayo. Don't copy the rules. Ito na lang sagutan nyo. My teacher sent worksheets. Identify subject, verb, and object. Kagaya ng ginawa kanina. Underline subject, underline verb, underline object. Tapos lagay nyo sa taas S, V, O. Kagaya din sa una nating example kanina. Okay. Tingnan natin kung tama ginawa natin. Tama ba? Your subject is teachers, your verb is sent, and your object is worksheets. Medyo madali lang. Sisiw lang yan sa atin. Okay. Number 2, interchange the position of the subject and the object. O, pagpalitin daw natin, yung teachers ilagay sa dulo, si worksheet ilagay sa unahan. Parang ganito. May teachers ang nasa dulo, si worksheets nasa unahan. Okay, rule number 3. Choose the appropriate tense of the verb. Yan, dito natin malalaman ngayon. No? Tingnan ko kung alam natin kung anong verb ang gagamitin. Anong sinabi ko kanina? Number 1, go back to your active voice verb. Diyan nyo malalaman kung present, past, or future. Sent. Present, past, or future. O, ibigay nyo sa akin kung anong verb ang dapat sa sentence na ito. Yung meron ng verb, okay sign. Sige, mag-like sign para makita ko sinong mabilis magsagot at nakakuha. Okay, thank you, Chloe. Grad and Emmanuel, mabilis. Okay, Maxine has an answer already. Anong verb ang ginamit nyo? Thank you, 30. Anong ginamit nating verb? Ang gagamitin nating verb, alamin natin. So here, sent is your, let me use an annotation. Sent here in your first verb is in the present, past, or future. It's in the past tense. Okay? Now, the question is, what to use? Was or were? Look at your new subject. Balikan mo na ngayon yun. Pagkatapos mo tumingin dito sa verb na to, punta ka na sa bago mong subject. Worksheets. Okay? Worksheets. In this sentence, singular ba o plural? Worksheets. Plural. So we will use where. So the verb to use in this sentence is were sent. Past participle, sent pa din, kaya were sent. Okay? And then you put by before your new object, by my teachers. Number 5, observe always your capitalizations at the end and at the beginning your punctuations. So the answer will be worksheets were sent by my teachers. So that's how actually we do it in the simple tense. Who got the right answer? Sino ang nakuha ng tamang sagot? Please show us a like sign if you got the right answer. Like sign, very good. Emmanuel, very good. Maxine, very good. 30, very good. Everybody got it right? Okay, sige. Mukhang alam na. Mukhang madali na lang sa atin na. O sige, ganito ang gawin natin. Let's practice. On your notebook, write or transform the following sentence to its passive voice. Okay? I will give you a sentence and you have 1 minute to answer. Ano wala daw si sa Wi-Fi. Okay, so I will give you a timer, 1 minute to answer each question. Okay? I have a timer with me. At kapag tumunog na yung timer, then we're done. Okay, I will show you the timer on the screen para makita niyo. Ready? Question, sentence number 1. Start. Write only the answer. Or if you want, gawin pa rin mag-underline, nasa sa inyo yan. Last 10 seconds. Okay, time is up. Now the answer is, anyone who'd like to give me the answer for number 1? Any volunteer? For question number 1, baka may gustong mag-volunteer naman dyan. At nangangarin na kayong hindi nagsasalita. Oh, come on, Didi. Any volunteer to answer number 1? Come on. Don't be shy. Alam ko yung mga estudyante ko dito sa klase na ito ay mga active at mga magagaling. So I believe you will volunteer yourselves. Any volunteer? Maxine, would you like to volunteer to give us the answer?
Sir, I don't think my answer is correct po. But
it's okay.
Online English tutorial is attended by me.
Online English tutorial is attended. Okay, tingnan natin kung tama. Very good, correct. So your answer is right, Maxine, by me. Okay, very good, very good. Next question, sentence number 2. You have 1 minute to answer and your time starts now. Go ahead. Ay. Sorry. Ten seconds, last 10. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and up. Okay. Now, who has an answer for number 2? Kung sinong matapang na pwedeng mag-volunteer to answer number 2? Yes, 30.
Some of our relatives will be visited by my family after the ECQ.
Very good. That's the easiest one, diba? Because you have will, and for a verb that is in the present, simple present, simple future, you will just be adding will be plus the past participle. Very good. Thank you, 30. Last one for the practice part. Ready? Go. Ay, saan ako? And time is up. Would like to answer number 3. Go ahead, Grad. Thank you for prompt response to volunteer. Number 3.
Her siblings were helped by Sheila in cleaning the house.
Her siblings were helped by Sheila in
Were
cleaning the house. Very good. Correct. Perfect. Very good. Thank you, Grad. So that is the answer. Okay. How many of you got the 3 items correct? Ilan naka 3 items by raising your hand? By any reaction, okay, like, or what? Okay? For yung hindi naman naka-perfect, it's okay. We're still practicing and there's no wrong in committing mistakes. Yung mga mali natin, yung gagamitin natin to be able to learn and to be able to realize kung ano pwede nating improve. Okay? So kung hindi kinaya ngayon, you can always go back to this video and try to see kung paano ang gagawin. Okay? Now, wait lang. Merong nagme-message sa akin. Ayan. Nawalan daw siya ng signal, si Andre. Anyways, so I hope that everybody is already part of the group on the Facebook because I only received these responses. I don't know if you're here. I have here from Nika Tiamzon, from Chloe, Hillary, Faith Rivera, Andre, Chrisbeth, Ada, and Arljin. So sila lang ang mga nag-submit ng mga first task on the group where I told you to introduce yourself, your age, your school, and your favorite cartoon character with your picture in it. Si Chloe, wala namang nilagay na picture. Okay? So pwede mo i-comment doon yung picture mo sa message mo, Chloe. Okay? So I want you to go to this page because I will be posting everything on it. Okay? Kanina, meron tayong dalawang activity na ginawa ngayon, di ba? Una, yung identifying the subject, the verb, and the object. Tama? So that's 1. Second is your 3 items to change active to passive. Tama? So dalawa yun, ha? Again, the other one is identify the subject, verb, object. The second one is transform passive to active. Active to passive. What you're gonna do is to take a picture of it and then post it on the picture that I will be posting on the group. So ilalagay ko doon yung PowerPoint slide ng lesson natin. Tapos i-comment nyo doon yung inyong sagot na may correction at nakalagay yung scores. Okay? Para makita ko na may ginawa talaga kayo ngayon. Now, for your assignment, since this is what I would normally do, assignment number 2, I will be posting it on the group page, on our FB group page. This is our FB page. Baka hindi pa nakaka-like yung iba, nakaka-follow o nakaka-join. Please go to this page, Binan Online Tutorials 3.0 English Class 5 and 6. Ayan, ang hahanapin lang natin sa Facebook. Si Grad, parang kanina ko pa lang siya i-add. I missed your application to join the group. Okay. So, ang kailangan nating gawin lang, again, number 1, to post your works today, your 2 works doon sa picture na ipopost ko. Second is your assignment number 2, kasi assignment number 1 yung nakapost doon. This is assignment number 2. So kung wala pa kayong post doon sa nauna, pwede pa rin namang mag-post. Mag-post kayo doon sa thread. Okay, gumawa ng sariling post. Okay? And then this is your assignment number 2. I will post later. Tapos yung worksheet ninyo, I mean, that's actually worksheet. Learning task number 1 pala yung ibibigay ko. Okay? Your learning task number 1 is on the page. Your worksheets are the ones that you made today, yung dalawa. Okay po? Ulitin ko baka nalilito kayo. Again, you will post the 2 pictures as your worksheet. This is called worksheet kasi nagre-record ako ng scores. Worksheet. Tapos, this one is called the learning task. Okay? The assignment today is called the learning task. Yun ang gagawin ninyo. Okay? Now, your assignment, so worksheet yung ginawa ngayon. Learning task is the quizzes or work na bibigay ko. Tapos, magpo-post kayo ngayon sa inyong mga Facebook page ng mga pictures ninyo ngayon. Okay? Kaya sana kayo napapakuha kayo ng picture sa inyong mga parents, picture ninyo ngayon, picture na mga ginawa ninyo or whatever it is. Post it on your Facebook, personal Facebook account and then tag me on that Facebook. Okay po. So itatag niyo po ako sa inyong Facebook post para makita ko yung post niyo about your work so that I could comment on it. Okay? So that will be our lesson today. Again, what we're gonna do after this is you will post the 2 worksheets. Second, you will answer the task I will provide you with. Ang deadline nito ay hanggang bukas pa naman. So kung tinatamad ko yung gawin ngayon, pwede nyo gawin pa bukas hanggang bukas ng hapon. At kailangan yung i-post yung pictures nyo of the discussion today and tell me what did you learn today. Okay? That's it. Thank you for joining our class. Are there any question? Meron ba kayong gustong itanong or gustong malaman or whatever? Wala na? No questions? Okay, very good. Thank you for joining our class today. I'll see you again on Thursday. We will still be talking about passive and active voice, but this time we will focus on perfect tenses, progressive tenses, and perfect progressive tenses. Okay? Thank you. God bless everybody and see you on Thursday. Bye, everyone.